everyone, and welcome to episode 12. And as we always do, every 4 episodes, we do a Mr. Bobble news roundup in terms of what's hot, what's trending, what's going on in the world of digital marketing, and me giving my views and me getting some notes and sharing it with you guys on the podcast and on video on YouTube. But as always, as I always say, please don't forget to like, follow, subscribe across our podcast and stream platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube, click on the bell notification, and please leave comments and feedback. We'd love to see what you think, what you view, if you like the podcast, the format. The more feedback we get from you, the more we can start tailoring the podcast accordingly. So in this one, I had a question that came up to me on LinkedIn, and it says, how do you decide between your business social media being personal or business focused? And this came from a lady called Claire. So that's a difficult question. So what we're trying right now is a thing called Mr. Bobble. And I could be doing more with that Mr. Bobble thing. And that's a personal brand thing. I've talked about this on previous podcasts that, Bobble Digital is named after me because my nickname was Bobble. I think we had that discussion with Rashbal a few episodes ago. And the idea really being that actually, when I was thinking of Bobble, I wanted to put my personal ethics, values into the company in terms of how I wanted things to run, my upbringing, etc., in terms of how I think a business should be run, how staff should be treated, how clients should be treated, and how we build relationships. Because businesses buy into businesses as much as they do the services. People buy into people as much as they buy into the services they offer. So we try to create a family, or I won't say family-oriented, but a personal, warm, friendly brand here at Bobble. And I feel like we're doing a good job of that. Could we be doing better? Of course, but everybody could be doing better with their brand. But it's all about what you try and what you don't try and what you start to implement. So it's a difficult question to answer that one, Claire, because you can't really decide between personal or business. Your business social media, if you go onto Bobble's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and we have Twitter as well. You notice that we always share a lot of company updates, stuff we're doing as teams, blogs. You'll see a lot of stuff about our recent 5th birthday party, a lot of video content about there. See a lot of stuff about bite-sized events. You'll even see us promoting this podcast. But separately through my personal LinkedIn is I try to tie that into Bobble, which is why I call myself Mr. Bobble. And people saying, oh, you're just taking it from Mr. Beast. And I'll be honest with you, that's where the idea came from. But I'm not trying to be a Mr. Beast because I'm not creating a Willy Wonka chocolate factory and putting people through it to own it or trade it in for $500,000. And I'm not, creating a lot of 25 cars and just giving them away for free, etc. So he's creating content by doing crazy challenges, entertainment that's like 20, 25 minutes. And me being Mr. Bobble is just aligned with what is my brand. I am Bobble. I know I'm wearing a hoodie if you're looking on YouTube, and I got the nicely placed product placement that is the bottle right here. But I am trying to create a personal brand. And the personal brand is Mr. Bobble because my closest friends call me Bobble. My best friends call me Bobble. That's my nickname. That's what it is. So me being Mr. Bobble essentially is, me being me, my digital marketing version, my marketing brain, my marketing persona of who I am. And I need to create that personal brand across LinkedIn. And it might work, it might not work. Mr. Bobble might become synonymous around the UK or in the world of marketing. It might not. There's no guarantee to it. But what I am doing, Claire, is I'm trying something and I'm seeing if it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you can't just give up after like a couple of months. Now, there's a lot more I need to be doing with Mr. Bobble on my LinkedIn. I need to be saying, right, I'm Mr. Bobble. I could even put like it in brackets with my name, Mr. Bobble, or hashtag Mr. Bobble element across my platforms. I could even change my personal profiles from being called Manni _ Bobble to Mr. Bobble if I really wanted to. I could change my TikTok to Mr. Bobble kind of stuff and start sharing some stuff. Or I could create new accounts around that's really focused around content and call it Mr. Bobble and see what works. The idea being that you've got to try something, you've got to create a personal brand on something, and I'm just the transparent and honest thing is I'm just trying something. Does it work? Does it not work? I don't know. But there is a strategy behind it, and the strategy behind it is that when you go look at the videos of the podcast, it comes up with Mr. Bobble. I mention it in my podcast. I mention it on my LinkedIn. I'm putting questions out on my LinkedIn and getting people to respond. Right, Mr. Bobble's going to be talking about this. We call the episodes Mr. Bobble News Roundup. People might watch it, might not. What does it mean? What I do see is that the titles and podcasts that have actual particular topic focus get higher views than what we do. So does that stop me from calling it Mr. Bobble News Roundup? No, I'm going to persist with it because the idea is that I am Mr. Bobble. I am, the marketing expert with my experience that I want to share my knowledge and expertise in it. Because if you looked at our last episode about cryptos and NFTs and marketing, I went into a lot of detail, but it rolled off the tongue because I've gone out there and I've done the learning. And the reason you're on here now is because you want to know what is I have to say, because you don't want to go out there and read all the articles and the blogs and video content that I've gone out and watched and learned about to be able to give you my opinion and my thoughts on it. So I'd say you've got to do both. To quickly summarize, you've got to do both. You've got to focus on your business, but if you're a leader or a significant a member within that company and you're the owner, then and you got to focus on it. If all you care about is your personal brand and not your company brand and you're a freelancer, then yes, you should focus more on your personal brand. People buy into people, as I said, but people also buy into businesses. So we have to we're having to wear a couple of hats. We're trying to, do a blend of the two. The company focuses on Bobble Digital as a company. I focus on me being Mr. Bobble. And the name transpires and everyone knows that Mr. Bobble is from Bobble Digital. They go hand in hand, etc. That's how it is. So thanks for the question. I thought it was a really good question. It's the main question that I had today I want to talk about. The other things I wanted to talk about is what's hot for 2022 right now. This is a news roundup. So what advertising trends are hot right now? And just kind of links from the previous one, Metaverse. Some consumers saying they're ready. Some are scared. People are scared in the Metaverse. I get scared when I turn the light off downstairs and have to run upstairs because I think something's going to grab me. I'm sorry, I just seen the TikToks on that. They're hilarious. But we kind of relate to those kind of contents on a personal level because we used to do that. So what we found that gaming is a big market for brands and agencies to really tackle. 82% of global consumers are gamers. 82% of global consumers are gamers. Wow. The average age of a gamer, a guess. Does someone want to guess? I'm going to bring you in.
Is it about 28?
Okay, Callum's going 28. Josh, I'm going to say 26. 35.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 33. I know I don't look a day older than 21 if you see me on YouTube, but that's just very, very good editing from my editing team. The average daily time spent on games consoles, how long do you think it is?
I've got to say about, now I'm basing this on my average.
What do you think?
I think it's about 4.5, 5 hours.
A day?
A day.
You're spending 4.5 hours a day on gaming, Callum.
Not every day.
When do you get time to do your editing and elements? Wow. So, yeah, so if you're waiting for projects on Callum, it's because you're spending 4.5 hours gaming.
Well, not every day, but like on an average.
On an average, that's a lot.
It's got, I like to get involved in my gaming. So when I've got a bit of free time.
Josh is putting up the two fingers. I'm not going to say which direction he was putting them up, but he's saying 2 hours. It's actually 1 hour and 11 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And that data comes from GWI. So many people know where GWI is. So this comes from our GWI. Flip side, 50% of consumers are not all interested in participating in the metaverse. Which kind of makes sense because if you're the older generation and you're probably out of touch with technology right now, you're probably thinking, I don't want to get involved in that. I'm too old. What do people want to do with it? They want to watch TV films. 44% say want to play games. 51% they want to watch TV films. 43% say they want to browse products. 41% they want to watch live events like concerts. It's a minefield, and I've talked about this. Facebook is Meta. He's going to double down on it regardless of what's going on with crypto market. You know, that's not going to impact Facebook too much, but you know, they focus more on what you can do with what NFTs allow you to do in the metaverse, and he's going to move forward with it. So it's interesting to see that actually, you know, some people are ready, but some people are scared. I just think it's very, very interesting. I think here's something from Zeitgeist data in March 2022. I had this written down. That data shows that 33% of people are very extremely interested in participating in the metaverse. I am. I can't wait for it to be really established and get involved with it. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. The next thing is audio ads are on the rise. Audio ads. We're trying to introduce that to our clients, and like big time audio ads. Louder for the people in the back. Audio ads are on the rise from Q1 2021 to Q1 2022. It's the fastest growing sources of brand discovery, where ads on podcasts, which is up by 14%, ads seen at the cinema up 12%, ads on music streaming services up 11%, ads heard on the radio up 9%. But all but one of those audios, which says a lot about media channels' growth strength, is, you know, what we're doing right now, which is podcasting. There's a lot of hype around podcasting right now. Listening to podcasting has increased by 30% since last year amongst Generation Alpha. I've written that down, but I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what Generation Alpha is. I know Millennials, Gen Z, Gen Y.
That's a really good point. I don't actually know.
They said Generation Alpha, but I'm thinking, what is Generation Alpha now? You know what? We'll do some research onto that, and we'll put it in the next roundup. I'll make a note of that one. What is Generation Alpha? So, while interest in podcasts increased by 10%. So, podcasts on the rise. We've been doing podcasts. This is season 3 that we're on. I'm saying season 3, but essentially it's just going to be weekly episodes now, moving forward, of me building the brand, my personal brand, going back to the original question, you know, and everything like that. But audio ads on the rise, because if you're on the free version of Spotify, you have to listen to ads. You've got the DAX, which is Digital Audio Exchange, which allows you to buy audio ads like you buy display ads, so very, very cheaply and very, very effectively. So yeah, it's on the rise, and it's something you should be considering as part of it, because this is content about marketing. So if you're offering marketing services or anything like that, you want to align yourself to podcasts that talk about marketing, digital marketing, SEO, and different topics. Again, like with anything, interest or topic-based targeting you can do. But if you're a e-commerce retailer and you're listening to, like, you know, Joe Rogan, then that's something you want to be aligned yourself, because a lot of people listen to that. You know, it depends on the content where you can place that product or service that you offer as a business when it comes to audio, but a lot more to come from that. And I think that's a good topic for us to discuss. I think audio ads as an episode moving forward. I like doing these roundups because I give what's hot and what's new. And essentially what it does is give me ideas for future podcasts in terms of what to talk about. And we end up talking about in details, or we talk about certain things and we bring guests on. So it's looking good. In-game advertising is a fortress, and there's a way in. So the world of gaming is a goldmine for brands. Around the world, console gamers are 22% more likely to buy brands than they've seen advertised compared to the average consumer. That's crazy right now, isn't it? 22% more likely to buy products that they see in-game. So the 4.5 hours, Callum, you're spending on gaming, you're 22% more likely to buy something as a result of that. I would suggest highly cutting down on your gaming time to save your pockets from spending on stuff that you don't really need. When you're gaming, you're already into a high quality environment. So when you see particular ads, games like Grand Theft Auto, or games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, they will bring in other brands and elements into it.
Well, like with Football Manager, so this is where I spend my 4.5 hours of gaming sometimes, is Football Manager.
Yeah.
I can spend hours playing that game. And what you can see in the stadium of the team that you're managing, that there's adverts for local companies.
Yeah.
So, and charities. So, like for example, War Child have got adverts in Football Manager to support them to raise money for the charity, which is really good. But then you've got like local brands. So there was a clothing brand, which I can't remember which one exactly did it, but they had adverts that were targeted for the male audience that play Football Manager. So there was like 25% off if you put Football Manager in as a discount code for this clothing brand, for example. So it works. It works.
And that's good for someone who games 4.5 hours a day. So, yeah, he's laughing. So actually it is, because you see that logo, if you have a brand connection with someone and you see a feature in the game that you love and like, you're going to buy more likely from them. You kind of be part of the experience. You look at playing football in real life and you watch on TV and you see the digital screen billboards. They are also available in the actual FIFA games as well. And, EA just promoting themselves and other products and selling essentially, in-game materials. That last thing I want to update you on is the Cookieless Future, which is very, very unclear. So not many people know this, but you should, is cookies are about to end soon. And my advice is don't wait for Google. I have a love-hate relationship with Google, as many people know on this podcast. And the mantra circulating the internet right now, what I've been reading is that advertisers and the real world are hoping that their tech giant, that is Google, is going to offer a solution. Actually, the stats show that 70% of agencies and brand execs are worried about Cookieless Future and don't know what's next. And to be honest with you, I don't know what's next. I don't really have an answer for you. Data shows that 40% of consumers regularly clear their browsing history. I wonder why that is. I'd be interested to see what the breakdown between gender in terms of male or female that would be in terms of why they're clearing their browser history. So he's just catching on now, Colin. 25% regularly use private browsing, 20% regularly decline cookies, meanwhile 20% regularly use a VPN, and 30% worry about how companies will use their personal data online. A lot of percentages, a lot of elements. But what does it mean for you as a brand, as a company? And those that aren't rated for good is already coming up there's new ways to and innovative ways to bypass the cookie. For example, buying targeted ads has often relied heavily on third-party cookies, and now the future relies on one thing, getting more data, and the only way to do that is by integrating with third-party syndicated data. But we're going to have to go into a lot more detail into that. So I think we already have our next 2 episodes where we're going to be talking about audio ads and a cookieless future. I'm going to go into them into a lot more depth and provide a little bit more insight around what's going on there. But that kind of brings us to the end of the Mr. Bobble News Roundup. A lot of information there, a good question between personal and business branding. A lot happening in the world, which kind of falls onto some of the things we talked about in the previous episode. I hope you found that useful, engaging, and please send your thoughts and comments back to me. I am using the hashtag AskBobble or hashtag Mr. Bobble. So if you're on social media and use a hashtag, we're monitoring it. We're monitoring questions. We're monitoring elements on that. So if you've listened to this and you disagree with something, you don't like it, or you feel like I've gone on a wrong element or on any other podcast, do reach out at us at Bobble Digital on social media. Use the hashtag Mr. Bobble or the hashtag AskBobble, and you will feature you on the monthly news roundups that we do. Other than that, thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe across our podcast streaming platforms, follow us on YouTube. And the more followers we'll get, the more competitions I can start introducing to listeners and followers and people like on the content to try and get you really more engaged and really more involved and get your opinion pieces. So I hope that's been a good news roundup. I hope that's been really educational. Got some good ideas of what to come up in the next couple of episodes. And I look forward to sharing that information with you all. Thank you.